Let's talk hormone health now with Clean Marine Menomin. Menomin is available at pharmacies and health stores.
Now, you're very welcome back to the show. Today is World Menopause Day, so we are shining a light on this natural stage of a woman's life.
Exactly. Lorraine Keane has spoken before about her own perimenopausal experience, and she joins us today alongside consultant endocrinologist even, Dr. Mary Ryan. I got there in the end, Mary. How are you?
It's funny, when I started touring the country, hello both of you, with Dr. Mary Ryan 7 years ago, I had to spell that word phonetically, Sinead, so I feel your pain.
Of course I said it fine earlier, and then
true,
you're like,
isn't it, Mary?
the moment comes and passes. But Lorraine, you have been very vocal about your experience. What is it about the whole experience that made you want to talk to other people and be so open and honest?
Because I suffered in silence for so long, I didn't even know what perimenopause was, and I didn't know what an endocrinologist was either. And, you know, working in a business of news and being a journalist, I was really cross with myself for not being educated on the subject. So anytime I saw anything online or in a newspaper or magazine that said anything to do with menopause, peri or otherwise, I just scrolled on or, you know, just turned the page thinking, that's nothing to do with me for ages. And from my late 30s, I had symptoms of perimenopause. So I reckon I was probably about 37, 38, which is very early to be in perimenopause. So when I realised that I could have actually helped myself and, you know, not suffered as much as I did, because you can manage your symptoms if you know what to do, if you know your options, I decided, you know what, Lorraine, you need to come out and talk about this and share it, because I realised that there's a lot of women in Ireland, across the globe, that don't know enough about it, but also were afraid to talk about it because it was embarrassing. You were kind of ashamed to be in that stage of your life.
Was there a bit of denial involved, Lorraine, where you're looking at, say, looking at stuff online going, yeah, that's me, but that's not me really, but I don't want to admit it to myself?
Exactly, yes. And I suppose years ago, there were those kind of older kind of connotations of, oh, you're older and decrepit, you're past it in your last stage of life. But we know now, thank God, that we're living to, you know, 70, 80, 90, even 100. So, you know, we're not dying at 60, 65. So we have a whole other life. I mean, maybe 30 or 40 years left. And I want us, as women, to be able to enjoy that time and look forward to it. You know, in Asia, they call it my second spring, and they celebrate menopause, because at that stage, you know, you should have a much easier time because you don't have PMS, you don't have periods, you don't have the worry, the anxiety, the pain that goes along with all of that. So I'm actually, honestly, looking forward to going into menopause, because I feel like I'm armed and dangerous with all the information that I need. And when I get out the other side, I'm going to live my best life.
But Lorraine, some people might know the difference between perimenopause and menopause itself. So can you briefly explain the difference?
Yeah, and Barry will help us with this. Perimenopause is the period of time before menopause. So if you're going to get menopause, you're going to go through perimenopause as well. Menopause is usually 50 plus. It's when your periods stop for a full year. And perimenopause is usually 5 to 10 years before that. So if you're lucky, 45. For me, it was late 30s. For some, it's 40. So it's milder symptoms of menopause, but there are 34 symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. And thank goodness none of us get all of them.
Mary, what's happening inside in the body at this stage?
So basically around 45, which is the age perimenopause happens, the eggs are becoming depleted. So the hormone in the hormone control centre that controls egg production starts going up. And people forget hormones control all muscles. We're skeletons covered in muscle. So once there's a hormone imbalance at every muscle, that causes fatigue. First symptom women will notice is their periods become irregular or they become heavier. Second thing is fatigue, because they're not going into that deep muscle relaxation, not sleeping as well. And brain fog is a big symptom for women at this time as well. And also then maybe because of the low estrogen, some sweating and flushing and maybe vaginal dryness. So they're the main symptoms that women complain of. And that could go on for 45 to 50. And then at 50, you lose periods, or you around then 50 to 53. And that's what we call menopause. And those symptoms may get worse and go on for another 10 years.
Are you talking about symptoms on a daily basis, a weekly basis?
Yes, you would love to be a woman. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, it is. And this is the thing we always say to women, this wasn't spoken about. I mean, menopause isn't a new thing. It was around since Adam and Eve generations ago. But this is something we are educating and empowering women, because once you know what's going on, then you can know how to deal with it. And I have women coming into me exhausted, thinking I'm depressed, what's wrong with me, is my life ended? When they're so relieved when they know it's just hormone imbalance and we can sort this out. And then it's a time for a woman to address her health and look at, because in perimenopause with low estrogen, you also have to look at bone health. You have to make sure she's taking iodine, calcium and vitamin D. You have to make sure that her lifestyle is good. She's a good, healthy diet. Is she getting enough sleep? Is she pacing? Because all of this helps the hormone control centre, which is going through a hormone imbalance at the moment. So it's a time for a woman to focus on herself, as well as giving her medications that may help her, help peripheral nerve pain, take natural supplements, which are there, and there's a huge amount of them. And then also maybe which you need HRT. So there's a load of different options.
It can last for years. That can be really daunting for a woman to hear, but knowledge is power, and like that,
Yes.
there is help out there. We actually put this question out to 817 people. That's who responded on our social media. Right. Did you ever suffer from symptoms of menopause or perimenopause? And a massive 78% said yes, they did suffer, and 22% said no. But you mentioned it's all down to hormones. So what would your first step be, Dr. Mary Ryan, in finding help?
So first help was to go to your GP. And to get, your hormones checked. The GP will take a good history, make sure that the diagnosis is correct, because there could be something going on. There could be another reason for fatigue as well. Remember, thyroid health, it can go around this time because the immune system can attack the thyroid at that time. So just check your overall health. But your GP is the first place. Always look, I always say lifestyle has to change. Women have to be better at pacing, because the hormone control centre, it's a holistic view we want, right? So lifestyle, pace, hydration is very important. The gut health is so important. It controls a lot of the hormones as well. And then on top of that, you get your sleep. Supplements, there's brilliant supplements. Vitamin D, omega-3 are a must, because heart health is very important. Biotin for the hair, vitamin B6, B12, these are all available in Menopause and a lot of the supplements. And then on top of that, you have HRT or pessaries, estrogen pessaries for the vaginal dryness. So there's a whole gamut of stuff there. But it's so lovely that women now know it's there, and they're not suffering like generations of women did previously.
Yeah,
because women did suffer dreadfully.
Now, we have a question here from a viewer. Denise is asking, I'd like to know if excessive tiredness is a symptom of menopause. I am on 50 mg of HRT. I'm exhausted all the time, Denise says.
Yeah, well, it could well be a symptom of menopause, but that's why they need to go, because it could also be underlying heart disease. Because heart disease, when you lower the estrogen, can become an issue, and people can manifest high cholesterol this time if it's genetically there. So yes, fatigue can be a symptom, severe fatigue of menopause, perimenopause, because they're not sleeping right. But equally, go to your GP, just check thyroid, check heart health, get an overall view. Yeah. It's a time for women to get an MOT of themselves, because women don't look after themselves. Well, just go to your GP and get it checked out. Yes.
Lorraine, very quickly, what changes did you make to your lifestyle?
Well, lifestyle changes are first and foremost, and they're free. So it's about knowing what you need to change, and that's to do with, your diet. So what you're eating and drinking during each stage, natural life stage. So from puberty to post-menopause, you should be eating certain types of foods. You should be exercising certain types of ways. So, for example, after 40, you shouldn't be running. You shouldn't be doing spinning classes.
Brilliant.
You should be doing Pilates and yoga.
40.
You need to, there's a great little book. I call it the Bible, the Hormones Bible. It's called The Essential Guide to Female Hormones. It's free in pharmacies and health stores nationwide, and you can download it for free on cleanmarine.ie. All sorts of experts like Dr. Mary Ryan, they talk about all your options. So they talk about the natural health route, which again, with the right supplement like Menopause, you have everything in there in your 2 capsules a day. Then you also have your lifestyle changes. So what you're going to do with your exercise, your diet, and switching off, well-being. And then obviously then if you've got severe symptoms, then HRT. I threw myself into the freezing cold Irish Sea.
That's a good plan, if ever there was one. I love it.
I walk the dogs and I try and get my sleep, and I drink water, and I take my supplement, and I make sure that I eat.
Magnesium as well.
Yeah, magnesium at night is brilliant. I take it. Yeah,
brilliant tips.
Yeah,
There.
but all
Thank
the
you
information is
so
there.
much.
That's what we're saying.
It's all there, and go and get it.
And don't make HRT your first choice. Like, try other things
Okay,
and
guys,
know your
let's
options.
leave it there.
Thank you
Lorraine,
so
thank you
much.
very much. Dr.
Thank
Mary,
you.
great to have you back on the show as well. For more information, contact your GP, of course, and we'll also put some more information up on our Facebook page. If you have any questions, do email us. More information also on hse.ie.
Let's talk hormone health now with Clean Marine Menopause. Menopause is available at pharmacies and health stores.